All right, welcome to your second workout. We've got Elena Scott again, gonna run you through everything and demonstrate everything. So she's just gonna start out with a couple minutes of jump and rope. She'll just kind of run through some different variations, however she kind of wants to do it. As you're going, the key is just try to keep your rope going for the whole 2 minutes. Okay. If you want to add some stuff in there, she might do some one leg stuff and, you know, just throw some little stuff in there, kind of whatever you want to do to keep yourself occupied. All right. But the key is the reason we're adding jump and rope, because it really works on hand-eye coordination. Great for cardio. Notice that she's jumping. One thing that helps is, like, she keeps her arms really still, just works through her wrists, so it makes the ropes really nice and stable. And she's going to keep going for about 2 minutes. I'll kind of give her a signal when we get to 2 minutes. And anytime you mess up, no big deal. Just get your rope going again when you're ready. And like any variation you want. Because also it's just get you warmed up a little bit, get your heart rate up a little bit, warm up your knees, ankles, hips, all that. So what you do is not as important as that you do it and you keep going. Good job. I'm going to go for about another 45 seconds. And we're going to get her going on some agility drills. All right, good. She's going to toss her rope away, get rid of that. Okay. I'm just going to head back to the cones. Okay. And we're going to have 3 cones in a row. They should be about 8 to 10 feet apart. Okay. And the first drill that she's going to do is she's going to shuffle to the cone, she's going to pivot forward, shuffle to the next cone, okay? And then she'll just turn around, she can go back the other way. She'll just head back and she'll do the same thing 3 times on each side. So shuffle, quick pivot forward, and shuffle. So notice when she pivots forward, she's pivoting over her front shoulder. So pivot forward over her front shoulder, okay? And she's going to step to the other side of the cones, and she'll do the same thing where she's leading with the opposite foot. Okay? Yeah, so she'll go lead with the opposite foot, and then shuffle over. So we'll do 3 on one side, 3 on the other, still with that pivot forward. Yeah, so that way we're working even, and we're pivoting off different feet as we go and practice. Good job. Okay, she's going to step back over to the other side of the cones. Okay, and she's going to do the same shuffle forward. Now she's going to pivot backwards. Okay, she's going to be blind as she goes into the pivot, and then she's going to continue to shuffle over. Okay, because how many times in volleyball you're pursuing the ball and you got to turn and look over your back shoulder and then find the ball again. Okay, that's what she's kind of imagining that she's doing as she's going through these shuffles. Okay, she's tracking the ball, and maybe it blings off the block, and then she's got to turn and try to be a little bit blind and find the ball. And then she's do 3 on each side. And get a quick shuffle, and her pivot is really quick and solid, and she always stays nice and balanced as she goes through that pivot. Okay. Good job. Okay, so this time she's going to start at the back cone. She's going to sprint to the second cone, hop, quick little hop over and back. Not a big hop, just a quick little agile hop. And you'll notice as she hops, she kind of keeps her shoulders centered over the cone, so it's really just her legs going side to side. Then she'll sprint to the third cone. When she hops over, she's going to do a little 180-degree turn. So she's facing the other way, ready to repeat and go back the other way doing the same drill. Okay. She's going to sprint, quick hop over. Good. Hop and turn. Yep. And then she's going to sprint, quick hop over, and then she's going to take a little rest. Okay. And we're going to run through that a total of 3 times. Okay. And she'll just take a rest. When she's ready to go again, she'll go. Okay, so notice her shoulders stay nice and still, her head's nice and quiet as she hops over, and the whole movement all just comes through her feet. Okay, just going to run through that one more time. Okay, if you want to clear that, you can clear out the cones if you want. We're done with those. We're going to move on to some strength exercises for today. Your first day, we did a lot of plyometric stuff. Today, we're going to focus on some strength stuff. And with all of the stuff we do, I'm trying to give you some samples of things so that it's stuff that you can maybe throw in your toolbox. And if you want some agility drills to do at home, you can go back and look at the video and go, yeah, I'll work on some of those agility drills. All of them are kind of designed to help you become a quicker, more agile volleyball player. Okay, so all of the strength drills that we're going to do are going to be a lower body and upper body exercise that we're going to superset, so the line gets a little bit of a break in between. Okay, so the first thing she's going to do is a one-leg deadlift. We turn sideways for him. Okay, so she's going to do 30 on each leg. Notice when she goes, and I'll walk up here. She is nice and flat and level. Okay, so what she doesn't do, you go ahead and keep going, do them right. Okay, is she doesn't bend and then lift her leg. As she goes, it's one straight line from her head to her heel. Okay, standing leg is straight and solid. She's working the hamstring of her standing leg. If you have trouble with balance with this, it's totally fine to go do it next to the wall, do it next to the net, wherever you happen to be in the gym, and just place your hand on something that adds a little bit of stability. Okay, it also helps if you're kind of out in the open. If you'll find a spot on the floor that you can stare at, that helps you with your balance as well. And she's going to run through 30 reps on each leg, and then she's going to throw an upper body exercise in there. Going to notice with each rep, she's not going over super far. That's not important. What is important is she does a really good job of staying nice and flat, okay, so that all the work comes from her standing hip and not in our back. Okay. So if she's bending here, where she's bent at the waist, that's a lot of pressure in your back when you're coming back up. When she stays nice and straight, okay, it works your glutes and hamstrings of your standing leg. Especially for volleyball players, a lot of knee injuries are a result of weak hamstrings and strong quads. So the front of our legs are really strong, but the back of our legs not so much, because volleyball is a very quad dominant sport. A lot of jumping, squatting low to play defense. So we're trying to come up with some exercises that you can do to help you improve that strength balance, even if it's stuff that you can do at home. If you don't have a gym membership and nobody wants to go to the gym right now, or you can't go to the gym right now, those are just things that you can do at home to help work on strengthening hamstrings and try to stay as healthy as possible. She does a really good job of standing leg stays nice and straight and stable while most of the time. And we all do that. If you're not challenging yourself, you're probably not getting the most out of it. So she's always gonna push herself and try to do the best that she can. This box over here for you, so you're ready. And again, 30 solid reps on each leg. Good, and always we'll take our time with our reps. Especially with strength things, we don't need to rush and work fast. Okay, if you're going to put that with a walkout. Okay. So she's going to touch her toes, walk all the way out into a plank, walk back in to touch her toes, and stand up. Okay, and she's going to do 10 total. Notice she takes her time with it. When she comes back in, her legs stay nice and straight. So she's using shoulders and core to pull herself back in. Okay, really good exercise for core stability and shoulder strength. And especially as she gets up into her 8th, 9th, 10th reps, you see her probably fight a little bit to get back in, still keep her legs straight. Okay, that's what you want to get. You want it to be a little challenging. You want to have to really squeeze through your core right about here, where you're just about 2 or 3 hand steps away from your feet, and you really, really got to press and squeeze in. Let her catch her breath for a second, and we're going to move on and do step-ups. So what we'll do, we're going to pull a box out for her, but for you, when you're doing these in gym, we will find a bleacher somewhere that you can do the same things on. We're just going to move the box over here because that's mobile. Okay. You can see it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so she's going to put one foot up on the box, okay, and then she's just going to come up, and she's going to barely tap her foot on the floor. Okay, and she's doing 25 reps on each leg. Okay, notice that she barely taps her toe on the floor, that she's not putting weight in the foot that's lowering to the floor. Okay, so all the work is in her standing leg. She does a good job of leaning forward and push her hips back. She can do a nice, keep her balance nice and solid. Okay, and Elena, we do it wrong for a second. Okay, see where she now, this is wrong, where she's putting weight in her foot and pushing off. Go back and do them right. Good job. Now, this is the way you want to do them, where there's not any weight on your toe on the floor. Imagine that you go swimming and you walk up to the side of the pool and you want to see what the water temperature feels like. You know, we're just kind of bend down, barely tap your toe in the pool. Okay, that's what you can imagine you're doing. Okay, if you step down, you're going to fall in the water. If you really put weight in that foot as you're testing the pool water. Okay, so we just want to barely reach in and tap it to the floor. Okay, so all the work is driving up to your hips, glutes, and quads. Okay, and she'll do 25 on each leg, and then we'll switch that and add that with an upper body exercise. Again, like notice, you can see a little bit better what she's doing with her hips, how her hips push back, her knees just about the end of her shoe, not too far forward. And she does a really good job of pushing her upper body forward enough that she can stay balanced and still stay solid in that working leg. Okay. And she does a really, really good job. She's pretty advanced. She really never puts any weight in her leg that's going to the floor, even when she comes back up. It is okay if you want to tap that foot on the bench and take a little rest when you bring your foot back up. That's fine. Okay. Elena, she's been doing this for a long time. She's really strong, so she's really pretty solid doing it with really not putting any weight in that non-working leg. Okay, so now she's going to go ahead and have a seat on her box, and she's going to do some tricep dips. Okay. Yeah, you go on that side. Yeah, perfect. Okay, she's going to take her legs out straight. Okay, heels, fingers face her butt, and she's going to do 15 dips. Okay, nice straight legs. She keeps her back really close to the box. Okay. And you can go ahead and walk your feet in a little bit, your knees, spin your knees on it. So if you need to adjust a little bit, you can walk your feet in, walk them in even a little bit more. Okay, as far in as you need to be able to do your 15 reps. Okay, preferably straight leg. That's the more advanced option, but you make adjustments as you need to so that you can still complete your 15 reps. Okay, good. We're gonna let her grab a quick little drink. I'm gonna pull the box out of the way. And then we'll hop her over here and let her finish out her strength exercises. Okay. So now she's going to do what's called a leaning Romanian deadlift. So she'll start in a squat, where she kind of got her hands out in front of her and turn to the side for a second. Then you can see what goes on with your hips. Okay, and then all she's going to do is straighten her legs and touch her toes. Okay, so that's 1, 2. Every time she touches her toes, she counts a rep, and she's going to do a total of 30. This is, if you do it right, where you really know, like Elena, where she's really dropping her hips low, and she's pressing her hips up to the ceiling. Okay, the whole work comes through your hips on that kind of point. Okay, so notice as she presses up, she presses her hips to the ceiling. Okay, she drops her hips to the floor. Okay, really, by the end of 30 reps, you really should feel this through the back of your legs and your glutes. And notice she's doing nice, slow, controlled reps. Every rep is quality. So she's getting the best out of the exercise that she did. And she'll do a total of 30 of those. Count each toe touch. And then she's going to do a plank rotate for her upper body exercise. Good job. Again, every time drops her hips low, presses her hips to the ceiling. Drops them low, presses to the ceiling. I think about now your hamstrings are probably starting to burn a little bit. Good deal. And if you need to shake your legs out a little bit, feel free to do that. Okay. So the upper body exercise she's going to put with that is a plank rotate with the toe touch. She's going to go really, really slow. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it. Here we go. Okay, she's going to start out on a plank. She's going to rotate open and put her opposite. The hand that goes up in the air is the hand of is the foot that's on the floor, and then she takes the toe touch and then comes back over, and then she'll go the other way. Good job, good job. She's going to do a total of 10. So every time she rotates to the side, she'll count that. Okay, you can speed it up a little bit if you want to. So it probably feels a little bit more smooth when you go a little faster. Okay, so the hand that goes up in the air is the same foot that goes on the floor. So you got same hand in the air and you're touching opposite foot. Good job. So really good core and shoulder exercise. Okay, we'll let her kind of shake everything out. And she's got one more exercise she's going to do. She's going to do a couple sets of pike crunches. Okay, she's going to have a seat on the floor. Keep her legs up in the air the entire time. And this is a dynamic exercise. So she's going to come all the way up. Come all the way up. Yeah, all the way up. There you go. All the way, and then you can come back down. Yeah, you don't have to hold it too long. Okay, so she's going to come all the way up, dynamic. Great. Good, good, good. Yeah, you can go ahead and crank out 10 reps. Okay. Okay. Her legs stay pretty stable. She pulls them in even a little bit as she gets up there. Okay. Really, really good exercise for core power. Okay. So it's a dynamic, aggressive exercise. You know, she's doing a little crunch. She is really pulling herself all the way up, where the only contact her body makes with the floor is about her sit bone. Okay, we'll let her rest for a little bit as long as she wants to rest, and then she'll do one more set of 10, and then we'll stretch. Okay, so that's the last thing you've got. It's one more set of 10. And as you're doing these, really make them dynamic and aggressive. So if you can't, yeah, kind of gets. It might take you a minute to get started with your balance and find the right position for you. It really is helpful if you notice Elena she pulls her knees in just a little bit as she comes up. She's really at the very, very top. She's got an extra little pike and press through her core. Good job. Okay, and that's why Elena is one of the best players in the state, because not only is she a great volleyball player, but she's just she's strong and super athletic. Okay, so we're just gonna let her catch a breath for a second, and we'll run her through some stretches. So when you're ready, you want to grab a quick drink? Go grab a quick drink. Are you ready?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, you can have a seat, and we'll run through our stretches again. She's gonna start out same things that we did in the session yesterday. She's just gonna grab her feet and pull as far as she can. Again, if you have trouble with that, you can bend your knees, grab hold of your feet, and then you slowly straighten out your legs as much as you can until you feel a good solid stretch in your hamstrings. Okay, good. Then she's going to sit up and she's going to stack her legs so that she's stretching out those hips. Okay, notice that she has her bottom foot out. Push your bottom foot out away from you just a little bit. Yeah, so she's almost got her legs parallel. Okay, not really tucking that foot in, and I'm really pressing into her hips. Okay. There's your hip stretch out a little bit. You can lean into it a little bit. Totally fine wherever you are. It's just so that you feel it all through your hips. Okay, then she'll switch legs. Again, you can tell, like, so one side is a little more flexible than the other. Yeah, that's perfect though. Perfect. Okay. You go where you can go, okay? and you just let your hips kind of try to relax. This is really probably one of the most painful stretches that we have. It really is. Yeah, it's not a fun stretch. Necessary but not fun. Okay, then she's going to go ahead and roll onto her side and do that quadricep stretch where she feels like she's pulling her heel up to the back of her head. And really stretching all the way from her hip flexors all the way down to her knee, all the way through her quadricep. Good, then she'll flip over, stretch the other side. We're going to add one more stretch in here before we let her go ahead and sit up. If you'll go ahead and lay all the way face down. And then you're just going to do a little cobra stretch. So you're just going to put your hands right under your armpits and then just push yourself up. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So since we did a little bit more core stuff today, we'll give her a chance to kind of stretch out her core a little bit. Okay, can you just relax down and go ahead and just sit up in a comfortable seated position, and we'll do that tricep stretch where you're taking hand behind her head. Okay, good job. And then we'll switch over to the other side. Then she's going to come up onto hands and knees and do that little cat-cow stretch where she just kind of works out and stretches out her back a little bit. Really important for Elena. She's had some back issues in the past, so she's always working hard to make sure her back stays healthy. Just push up onto her feet, walk her hands back in, however she wants to stand up, and then just a little hanging ragdoll. We're just kind of just let everything go. Let your arms kind of swing side to side, and just let the weight of your upper body pull you down. This should be just a nice, relaxing stretch. Take a few deep breaths while you're there. Each time you exhale, just let yourself relax a little bit further into that stretch, and your body weight just pulls you down a little bit further. This one should feel really good. Okay, you're going to go ahead and roll up. And last thing we'll do is that hip flexor stretch, where she's going to take a big lunge forward. Okay, and then with the same arm of the leg that's in the back, switch arms. Yeah, so go up and over. Okay. So whatever leg you have in the back, that's the arm that you're reaching up and over, and you'll feel that all the way through your hip flexors. And then she'll switch. So when she gets down, she goes up and over, and that should feel a nice, good stretch all the way again through your hip flexors. All right, she's going to come up, take a big breath in, stretch all the way up, give herself a pat on the back, for a great job. Y'all did a great job, and hope you enjoy your next training session with your coach. And we will see you next week.